Operation Team Strike. This isn't just 1-year-old leaks for the next operation. This is a team up from both games, TF2 and CS2. We have talked about fixed TF2 early on, but now the petition is sitting with over 300,000 signatures and even destroyed the Steam reviews for the game, showing Valve that they just weren't happy at all. But now they've decided that they want to team up with the Counter-Strike community for Operation Team Strike. One post suggesting this in the CS2 Reddit gained over 1.6 thousand likes, which for example is the most popular post of the week. And that wasn't it. On Twitter, the invite was shared and gained another 1,000 likes as players agree that they want changes to their favorite games, whether that's CS2 or TF2. The entire problem that players complain about with this movement is bots, VAC, and cheating, which of course is something that is a big problem in Counter-Strike and that players want improved. There isn't a petition for Operation Team Strike right now, as it just seems to be starting up. And I'm wondering, if Counter-Strike really had one, how many players would it sign? TF2 had over 300,000. Would Counter-Strike be over 500k, maybe a million? Players care so much about this problem that some have even more recently been showing up to Valve's headquarters to express the issue. But will Valve really be able to stop cheating and bots? A few months ago, Valve said that the cheating problem in Counter-Strike was their #1 priority, and since then, we have seen improvements to VAC over the past few months and even in recent updates. But of course, cheating is still a common problem in Counter-Strike, and even the bots that Valve patched and had that huge ban wave for are already back up and running. I just wanted to share this message of Operation Team Strike, as I think anyone can agree that they want improvements to their game, but would Valve even listen? Counter-Strike has had over 50 updates so far in 2024, but of course it's still been years since the last operation from Valve, which is what players keep asking for every update. It's honestly the exact same two things. It's either they want VAC improvements or a new operation. And at the time I'm making this video, it's June 15th, which means it has been 998 days since the last operation. And when you're probably watching this video, it's most likely been 999 days, which means we're about to hit 1,000 days since Operation Riptide started. This is the longest gap ever. I also recently saw this comment which listed a bunch of things that are still missing from CSGO, and I'm sure there could maybe be a few more that aren't on here, which are all things that players want. So whatever happens with Operation Team Strike is up to everyone else, and if they actually want to bring light to the problems in the game, or if they're just happy with how it is now. The fixed TF2 movement had a set date where everyone came together to get the attention of Valve. This is what it looked like on June 3rd when you looked up Valve on Twitter. So will players decide to do something similar but for CS2? Of course, we have the 1,000 day operation date coming soon, but there's also Counter-Strike's 25th anniversary on June 19th. And I've even seen some players point out the list of issues recently when they are playing matchmaking. But will anything come from Operation Team Strike? Who knows? I'm sure Counter-Strike will continue to get updates like it already has throughout all of 2024, but will the underlying problems ever get fixed? Probably not. But for other news, Blast did confirm the Austin Major yesterday for June 2025 after the Shanghai Major. As well as this, there was a lot of chatter about the old leaks for custom clothing and keychains from a few months ago by Gabe Follower. Players don't seem to be that happy about those possible new cosmetics, calling it a waste of time if they release. Personally, keychain seems pretty convincing to add in. It's a common cosmetic in most live service games nowadays, and it's something which had rumors even back in CSGO. I could possibly see keychains in the next operation as some new cosmetic players can buy so that Valve can just test the waters. For custom clothing, this is a system which Valve showed off originally for CSGO in the concept art but never made it to release. Many of the agents which are in this concept art eventually became operation agents in the game right now, but obviously the customization options didn't, which at the time allowed players to choose their own clothing on whatever agent they chose. Now, a very similar system is actually in a game like the Finals, which I think is a great example of what maybe Valve could do if they were to add clothing skins. You get to pick from a selection of items that you would maybe pay for and collect in classic Valve fashion through cases. I think compared to keychains, it's a bit less likely, but obviously would add more cosmetics to the game for Valve to sell, and could be possible for a few items like, let's say, sleeves, shoes, even hats, and many more of the visible body parts in the game. They made feet visible in CS2, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try to monetize that in some fashion. The only real question about this is what would happen to some of the custom agents? Would they just become the base models that players sort of use and then build off of with other items? The thing is though, Valve did scrap this idea over 10 years ago, but maybe they have new plans for it. Either way, players don't seem to be happy at the moment that Valve maybe is working on keychains and clothing items while CS2 is in its current state. If players decide to go full force into Operation Team Strike and start to bring up the larger issues in the game, I will obviously do my part and share the word, but this is everything that you need to know right now for CS2 news. Watch this video going over private exploits that cheat devs are hiding.